Every sign, she called it love. She made it fine. She held on tight when it was done, and thought the pain meant she had won. She begged with silence, not with sound. She twisted just to stay around. She made excuses out of dreams and covered cracks with hopeful seams. But I forgive the girl I used to be, the one who stayed instead of free. She didn't know what love should mean. She only knew what she had seen. And maybe she was lost, not wrong, just trying hard to belong. So here's my hand to let her know I forgive the girl who didn't let go. She broke her heart to keep the peace. She called her wounds a kind of lease. She thought if she just gave enough, that love would finally show up tough. But love that asks you not to heal isn't love, it's just a deal. And she believed because she cared, not knowing real love would be there. So I forgive the way she tried to stay, the way she bent herself each day. I don't regret her tender hands. She only hoped she made no plans. She loved the best she knew back then, and I would do it all again if that's what helped me start to grow. I forgive the girl who didn't let go. You showed me sparks, but not the flame. You gave me dreams, but not your name. You spoke of one day like a vow, but never showed me here and now. You let me build on hollow ground with half your voice, no solid sound. I held the hope, you held the door, and I kept waiting there for more.
I wasn't in love with who you were. I was in love with who you almost were. The version you kept hinting at, the maybe soon, the after that. But love is not a future guess, it's presence, effort, tenderness.
I wasn't held, I was unsure. I was in love with who you almost were. I traced your words like maps to truth, but never found a steady route. I filled the silence with belief and called that hope instead of grief. I fell I smoothed the cracks you left behind and called it love to lose my mind. You said we're fine, we're doing good, but never noticed when I stood on tired legs with quiet grace while holding up our fragile space. It was only working because I was holding it together, 'cause I stitched it through bad weather. You thought we floated on our own, but I was rowing us alone. And every time you stepped away, I stayed to make it feel okay. You called it strong, I called it pressure. It was only love because I held it together. I bent so we could still align. You missed the tremble in my spine. You said I never asked for more, but I was busy being the floor. And now I see crystal clear. If I stop holding, it disappears. That's not a love that holds its weight. That's just a story we create. It was only worth it when I kept it whole, when I gave twice and paid the toll. You felt that peace, I felt the strain. But love should not be built on pain. So now I step out of that role, no longer shrinking just to hold. You thought we'd last, but I know better. It was only love because I held it together. You said I felt too much, too fast, that I should learn to let things pass. You called me fire, then pulled away when I burned brighter every day. You liked me better when I bent, when I was calm, when I was spent. But when I asked to be seen too, you said that's just too much for you. But I wasn't too much, you were just half ready. You held my hand but never steady. I asked for honesty, not proof. I wanted real, not soft, not smooth. You tasted love but feared the depth, and blamed me when you lost your breath. You called me heavy when I stayed, but I wasn't too much. You just couldn't stay. I used to shrink to be received, to give you comfort, I believed. But now I know that real love sees even the parts that make you freeze. You didn't want to feel too far. You wanted warmth, not who we are. And when I showed up fully lit, you faded like wasn't too much. I was just whole. You came with half and not the soul. And that's okay, I wish you peace, but I won't fold to keep the peace. Next time I burn, I'll burn out loud for someone strong, someone proud, who doesn't flinch when I ignite. I wasn't too much, you just